I know HD DVDs were meant to be burnt, but I'm not sure this was what its backers had in mind. Sony's Blu-ray has zapped the opposition. HD DVD is now officially a load of old tosh. This week on Click, we'll find out what this means for the future of home entertainment. Plus, get married, fly, or become a big green demony thing, all from the comfort of your own living room. But are virtual worlds just a game? Or are they really the future of the web? We've also got the latest technology news for you and the very best of this week's web in Webscape. Welcome to Click. I'm Spencer Kelly. Well, it's over. The final shots have been fired in the high-definition format war. And as the battlefield falls silent, Blu-ray emerges victorious. HD DVD lies broken, battered and defunct. Drinks coasters, anyone? In a high-def rerun of the VHS Betamax conflict of the 70s and 80s, the two rival formats have slugged it out over the past 2 years in a battle for the hearts, minds and, most notably, the wallets of us, the public. The Japanese manufacturer Toshiba launched HD DVD confident that the format, which was based on existing DVD technology, would be perfectly placed to take advantage of the rise in sales of high-def televisions. After all, they reasoned, even though HD DVDs may not have been able to hold quite as much content as Blu-ray, the DVD discs and players were cheaper to produce than Sony's format, and the pictures and sounds were just as good. HD DVD was also just burst out of the traps and initially had strong support from Hollywood. But the expected sales never materialised, just 1 million in total, as consumer indifference and confusion set in. And of course then there was Sony's trump card in the form of this thing. The Blu-ray playing PlayStation 3 may have underperformed commercially as a gaming console, but hey, in the past 18 months they've still managed to get 6 million of them into our living rooms. More and more movie studios got behind Sony's format, and Warner Brothers' announcement at the beginning of the year that it would exclusively support Blu-ray effectively signalled HD DVD's demise. The final nail was hammered into the format's coffin earlier this month when the world's largest retailer, Walmart, threw its considerable weight behind Blu-ray. So, Toshiba and its partners will now cease producing HD DVD hardware, and the remaining HD DVD studios have already switched allegiance, leaving Blu-ray with a clear run at the high-def market. Well, I'm sure we all have a few questions after the big battle, so here to give us some answers is Helen Davis-Giles, Senior Analyst with Screen Digest. Helen, thanks for joining us. So is HD DVD now truly dead? If I saw a player for sale in the shops, should I even consider buying it?
The short answer is yes, it's dead. Toshiba says it's dead, it's dead. However, it really depends how cheaply that player is going that you see, because it's still a very good DVD player which has the potential to upscale existing DVDs to play at better quality than they would have appeared otherwise, and there are some HD DVD discs around, so it'll continue to play those for as long as you have it.
Sony are a big player in the movie business. They own at least one studio and at least part of another. How much did that swing it for them, do you think?
The fact that Sony owns a movie studio obviously means that when Blu-ray started, it already had the backing of Sony Pictures. But that was only part of the battle. They had to sign up other studios. They brought Fox and Disney on board quite quickly, and for a long time Warner and Paramount were supporting both formats. What really clinched this was actually not Sony but Warner, because Warner decided in January that it was going to move from a position of supporting two formats to support Blu-ray only. Ironically, not long before that, Paramount had made the reverse decision. So prior to that decision by Warner, we were back to a stalemate.
Oh, I bet they're regretting that now. And what about the major retailers like Walmart, for example, who made the final move at the end of last week?
Well, basically, Warner's decision gave the green light for the retailers to decide that actually it was worth backing one format, i.e. Blu-ray. Walmart sells 1 in every 4 DVDs in the US. It's a huge player, and once that decision was made public, really the writing was on the wall.
Now, is this all good news? I mean, now we don't have to choose between two formats, which sounds good news. Are there any downsides to a winner in the format war?
I think it is good news. I think this now means that consumers who want high definition content know which way to go. They're not going to risk buying into what's being referred to as the new Betamax. On the other hand, the format war in itself has also been good news for consumers in some ways, because it's actually brought down the price of hardware. A Blu-ray player you can now buy a Blu-ray player in the UK for about £300 to £350. When they first came out, they cost £1,000, and that's taken about a year to 18 months. It took about 5 years for a DVD player to come down that quickly in price.
Do you think we'll see the price of Blu-ray players continue to fall as quickly now that there's no opposition, or do you think prices might start to level out?
Well, if they continue to fall as quickly, they'd be giving them away before long. So it's definitely going to slow down. Of course, there is not the competition now, and so it's inevitable that price decline will pause. But it's then the players are now reaching a point where they can be seen to be something that mass consumers can buy into or can aspire to. So it may be that they don't need to come down much further in order to take off better.
Microsoft put quite a bit of weight behind HD DVD, and of course you get the separate player for the Xbox 360. Do you think we'll start seeing Blu-ray players for the Xbox now, or do you think Microsoft are still pushing their digital downloads rather than any kind of movie on disc format?
I think that's a key question. Microsoft put out a very carefully worded statement which certainly doesn't commit them to anything on the Blu-ray side. There are a lot of rumours out there, but it's not at all a given that they will decide to put out a Blu-ray player. They may well prefer to stick to trying to encourage people to go with the downloads.
Finally, I assume that the movies that are currently only on HD DVD will start to come out on Blu-ray soon.
Of course. I mean, for example, there was a lot of publicity around the fact that Transformers was only available on HD DVD. That was because Paramount, the studio that produced that movie, at the time was backing only HD DVD. Now they will inevitably start releasing on Blu-ray. The jewels in their crown will be published on both formats. Any deals will be null and void, and they'll be able to move forward with the new format.
And we're already seeing online some how-to guides on how to convert your HD DVD to Blu-ray via a PC. I mean, is that something you would advise people to do? It sounds like a nightmare from looking at the guides.
I would suspect that anything like that is basically along similar lines to previous how-to guides telling people how they can copy HD DVDs and Blu-rays. Basically, the only way they will work is for people to crack the encryption, which is specifically put there to prevent copying.
Which we're being told not to do. Right. Helen, thank you very much for your time. And now it's time to take a look at what else is happening this week. Here's the latest technology news. The virtual land rush has begun for individuals who want to grab a slice of the new .asia domain. 35,000 names have already gone to companies which have been allowed to register .asia net addresses since October. Now anyone can nab the rest before the top-level domain goes live in March. The Beeb has struck a deal with Apple to sell some of its biggest programmes through iTunes, a first for a UK broadcaster. It means iPod owners will be able to watch some of the most popular programmes on the go, as part of a plan to give viewers a wider choice of how to view material. Meanwhile, the notorious Norwegian hacker DVD John could be set for another run-in with Apple. This time, his company Double Twist has cracked iTunes copy protection. The Double Twist desktop application converts iTunes content as well as other media to work seamlessly with other computers, some games consoles and mobile phones. The company argues that the digital media landscape has become a Tower of Babel, alienating and frustrating consumers. I wonder if the Legal Eagles will see it that way. And there's plenty more still to come on this week's Click, including a journey to another world or two. Yep, we're looking at the very